So recently, we all went through the holiday season, and me and my family, I have two little boys, we decided to go to Venice right before Christmas. And if anybody decides to go to Venice, this is probably the best time to do it, because it was empty. It seems like all Italians go home, obviously, for Christmas. And so we got to see Venice as if we were the only ones there. I went for runs in the morning, through up and down the bridges and across the different channels, and it was beautiful. And then there came a moment where we were having this aperitivo as a family. We had already visited 2 museums, and we were at this bar trying different things, and then my husband really loves museums. Like, he is hardcore museums. Very rational, very hardcore museum, and very, history, art, wonderful. But we had done 2 museums. And so when we I'm a more social, soft, I like to watch people about their day type of person. So anyway, we were crossing this bridge over a canal, and my youngest, he sees this little seagull trapped behind this gate. And he's like, "Mama, there's a seagull stuck inside there." It's like, oh gosh, yes, it's stuck in there. And so we try to get to the gate, and it wouldn't open, and he's looking up at me like with these big eyes, like, "What do we do?" And I was like, I don't know what to do. And I was like, "Oh, well, there's doorbells." So we start ringing all the different doorbells, and nobody seems to answer. And my husband in the background is like looking at his clock, because he had planned to see a 3rd museum before lunchtime. Like, I was, oh my gosh, do I upset him? And my other son is like already sitting with him, kind of like with a grumpy face. But I have this other child looking up at me, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I am going to stick strong to my instinct, and I am going to go back over the bridge and go to the bar where we had just had an aperitivo and ask them at least if they had some bread, so we could at least give something to the seagull. It was a very tough decision for me, because I've been married for 10 years, and I've always just gone with the flow, as opposed to like, wait, we have an issue here. What do I show my son? Do we walk away and see another museum, or do we actually take in this poor little bird, right? So I'm like dealing with husband on one side, seagull on the other, but with my son's, admiration and eyes on me. So we go over to I go to the bar, my son stays with the seagull. And so I asked him, "Do you have any stale bread that I can give the seagull?" He's like, "Oh, the seagull. That's like stuck behind a gate." And I was like, "Yeah, do you know about the seagull?" He's like, "Of course we all know about the seagull." It's like, "What do you mean you know about the seagull?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a seagull, and the old man who lives in that building keeps it protected because it has a broken wing. So for the last 8 months, we have been feeding the seagull. We give it scraps and bread because the old man is determined to protect it, because he knows if he lets it out into the open, it's going to die. So we've taken upon ourselves to keep the seagull alive. So here, you can have some bread." So I marched over the bridge now, so like full of courage, and I was so proud. And I gave my son, and I called over my other son, and I was like, "Feed this seagull some bread and get to know the real story." And so since then, I have learned that for the first time in my marriage, I think, I did not go with the flow. I stood strong. I listened to my instinct. And I showed my children that when it comes to other people, even a bird, you stick to what is compassion and empathy. And you make sure you find out their story before you walk away and see another museum. So today, I welcome you, because in my family, whenever we now have like this moment of what is in the balance, is it we walking away and being indifferent to a situation that we know like, it's a little troublesome, we're going to be thinking about that for the rest of the day? I encourage you to call it your seagull with a broken wing moment. Thank you.